All right, what is going on, Patriots fans? This is Jace back with another edition here of the Patriots Drive podcast. We got a hypothetical trade thrown out there by one of the bigger known NFL and just sports media guys in general. So we're going to be talking about that, getting your guys' opinion also, but we're going to incorporate something new. We're going to be throwing in a trivia question at the start of every video. We want you guys to comment down below. The first comment that gets it correct will be pinned at the top of the comment section so everyone can see the correct answer. So today, the question is, in 2019, the New England Patriots traded a second-round pick for what wide receiver? If you guys know the answer, put it in the comment section below. We'll like it if you get it right, and the first comment will get pinned. But without further ado, guys, let's jump right into this video. All right, guys, make sure that you guys are like, subscribe, and comment because this is a good video, and we got plenty more coming out up to draft day, live streams, and we also have mock drafts every Monday. So, Colin Cowherd threw out a trade, and I know people are going to be a little hesitant because Colin said some stupid things in the last couple years and maybe lost some credibility, but he proposed that the Patriots trade their third overall pick to the Minnesota Vikings for Justin Jefferson, the 11th overall pick, and a 2025 future first-round pick. Now, this only comes up because there's a report that Minnesota wants to be aggressive moving up to get a franchise quarterback in the draft. And there was also reports that last year they tried to trade up with the Panthers for Bryce Young. So first off, let's talk about this from the Patriots' point of view. What are your thoughts on this, and would you do this trade?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Patriots' point of view, unless you are completely like in love with one of these top quarterbacks and you say, nope, like this guy, we have all the confidence in the world. We think he's going to be the face of our franchise. Say that is Jaden Daniels. Unless you think this guy is guaranteed to be perfect for your team and your system and you think he's going to be a franchise quarterback, then I think this trade is a no-brainer. I mean, you're getting the best wide receiver in the NFL who is 25 years old. You do have to pay him after this season. He's got one more year before he needs a contract. But as long as you know that he is going to stay here, it would need to be one of those trades where it's like, all right, he's coming here, but we're going to make sure we work out a contract before the trade gets official so that he comes here, he signs, and we lock him up. That third overall pick is extremely valuable. I think you're getting a ton of value back, though, with Justin Jefferson himself is worth a ton. And then you're getting the 11th overall pick. You can still take probably one of the top two tackles, hopefully, or maybe you can move back up with some of the capital you gain, and a first-round pick next year from the Vikings. I love it. I absolutely love it from a Patriots point of view. We'll get into the other point of view as well, see if it makes sense for the Vikings. But I think this would be a no-brainer as long as you aren't 100% sure on one of these quarterbacks and you're just in love with them.
I mean, there's not very many times you can add a top 5 player in the NFL at any point in trades. So, I mean, you think of the Tyreek Hill type of trade. Like, that was one that was like, holy crap, like Miami just pulled that off. Justin Jefferson has never been under 1,000 yards in his career. The closest he was this season when he missed 7 games. He only played 10. So he had 1,400 yards his rookie year, 1,600 plus, 1,800 plus, and then 1,074 last year. This guy is one of the best receivers in the league. You've seen some of his routes and some of the catches he's had in clutch time against the Bills on 4th and 20. Like, the guy's just a gamer. And, you know, New England had a chance to take this guy, and they supposedly wanted him in the draft before he was taken. But you have a chance to go out and do this. And obviously the big thing is he's probably going to demand $35+ million. And that's a lot for a non-quarterback player. So the other side of this argument, the devil's advocate side for me is, well, why not just take Marvin Harrison Jr. at pick 3 and let him be on a rookie contract? Now, I get it. We don't know if he can turn into, like, we know what Justin Jefferson is. We would get a number 1, probably the best receiver in the NFL for the next 5 years, and he's 25 years old. And you'd only have to give up the 3rd overall pick. You can draft a tackle at the 11th overall pick. You can take a chance at Bo Nix or Michael Penix in the 2nd round, or you can just try to find someone with the 2 first-round picks next year in the draft that you have. So you can figure out the quarterback next year or at some other time if you have a talent like Justin Jefferson on this team. But it seems a little far-fetched for me. But from a Patriots point of view, I don't know any fan that should say no to this, just because say everyone's sold on Jaden Daniels. Well, who knows what he's going to turn out to be, right? Like, even Caleb Williams or Drake May, like you don't know. The quarterback is such a crapshoot. You don't know. They look like these great prospects, but we know this is a top 5 NFL player in Justin Jefferson. So it would be hard for me to say no also.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the good thing about getting Jefferson instead of just taking Marvin Harrison, like you do get that rookie deal, the team control, which is great if you take Marvin Harrison. But if you don't, you get Justin Jefferson, probably one of the top 2 tackles, and you get an extra first round pick next year. And like you said, Jefferson is a guaranteed smash. You know who he is as a player. Um, so yeah, I think it's a no brainer for the Patriots. I just don't see it as being super realistic. I think that uh, from the Vikings point of view, I don't see many Vikings fans that would be on board with this. Justin Jefferson is the face of their franchise. I mean, he's a captain. He's an absolute baller. Like this dude is a gamer. One thing about the Patriots too, and Marvin Harrison Jr. with Elliott Wolf running the ship and kind of going with this Packers theme, they don't take wide receivers in the first round. So that's one thing we haven't really talked about a lot. So they know how good it is to have somebody like Devontae Adams for the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. So would they maybe take a chance and say, yeah, we'll take Justin Jefferson. We'll pass on quarterback for now and we'll build around Jefferson and have this rookie quarterback end up having an offensive line and a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL immediately whenever we do get that quarterback. So I think from the Patriots point of view, I think it's great. I don't think it makes sense from the Vikings point of view. I don't see how many Vikings fans would be on board with this. I think it was just Colin trying to get some clicks, probably trying to throw out some ideas. Maybe he thinks this is realistic, but I think this would be very aggressive of the Vikings to risk all of this on a rookie quarterback who, like you said, it's a coin flip at the top of the draft with a lot of quarterbacks. So you really never know how it turns out. Could change your franchise in a good way, could change it in a bad way for set you back five years. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and the thing about Justin Jefferson is it would make more sense if they were saying Justin Jefferson in the 11th overall pick for the 3rd overall pick, right? Because Justin Jefferson is that's 3 first-round picks right there in my mind. Justin Jefferson is worth a first-round pick, like no doubt about it. So maybe even if they said Justin Jefferson and a 2025 first-round pick, oh, okay, well, now you just use your 3rd overall pick to get a top 5 player in the NFL currently. Like that would make more sense to me. And I think that's how we originally interpreted it, was that it was Justin Jefferson and a 2025 first, and Minnesota would get to keep their 11th overall pick. We went back and listened to it. I don't think that's what he's saying. It could be, we could be off, but one of those situations would make a little bit more sense for me. Like you said, this is very aggressive, and whoever's the GM or who's ever the head coach making this call, if Jaden Daniels or whoever they pick at pick 3 doesn't work out, their head's on the chopping block and they're getting fired the next season or 2 or 3 years down the road. It's just, this is a crazy amount to give up for a guy that now, again, from the Viking side, maybe they don't want to pay him 35 plus million. They drafted Jordan Addison last year, who was really good his rookie year. They traded for TJ Hawkinson a couple years ago. So maybe they're like, hey, we want to be able to build the defense or the offensive line and get a rookie quarterback in here on a rookie contract instead of having to pay Kirk Cousins what he's going to want to pay. So I can see both sides. I think that them keeping Jefferson is more realistic because of the talent he is, but I definitely could see the front office debating this just because it's hard to pay a receiver 30 plus million. Now you've seen Tyreek Hill. Like I think he's worth it, but it's just very hard to build around that Dolphins team. And once Tua comes off his rookie deal, it will also be even more difficult. So I get both sides of it. I don't see how this right here, 3 first-round picks to move up to the 3rd overall pick, it really makes sense for the Vikings.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing I have heard is that the money's there for Jefferson and the Vikings. The problem is he wants to know what the plan at quarterback is.
Yeah.
He's not going to sign a 5-6 year deal without having some sort of idea of what the future holds. You know what I mean? Is it going to be Kirk for the next 2 seasons? Are they going to try to trade up and grab a quarterback? I think the Vikings being aggressive and trading up makes all the sense in the world. I just think, why would you be this aggressive to trade up for a quarterback just to lose your best player and one of the best players in the NFL? That's where it doesn't really make sense to me. I think the Vikings could be aggressive in trading up, and I think they could say, we'll give you the 11th overall pick, a 2025 first, and maybe a second or some other lower level player. That might make more sense, but giving up your best asset, your best player, and somebody you want to build your franchise around just to go get a quarterback to throw him the football, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? That you want that quarterback to be throwing Jefferson the football, not Jefferson to be catching passes for the Patriots while you have a quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's where it doesn't make sense. I think they should just pay him if they want to trade up, be aggressive. I think that makes a lot of sense. But use draft capital. Don't use your best player who's a franchise altering player. He is phenomenal. And I mean, you saw how hard that team fell off after him and Kirk got hurt. It's tough. It's tough when you lose a player like that.
Yeah, and guys, before we get into kind of the last part of the video, we want to shout out our second sponsor. You guys have probably seen it in the top right of this video, SeatGeek. If you guys are tired of trying to find the best deals on tickets to your favorite events, concerts, and games, then SeatGeek is the answer. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. With SeatGeek, you can find the best deals thanks to their app and website showing you what prices are good and bad. And now you can use code Patriots Drive for $20 off your purchase. So go ahead and get those tickets you've been eyeing because you don't want to miss out on it. Appreciate them for doing that. We still have Underdog, and now we have SeatGeek. We're excited to partner with both of those guys. There's a lot of cool events going on now. I know football season's not in, but there's still events you can go
Celtics
to.
Games. Celtics are looking good this year. Go get $20 off
Games.
your tickets. Yeah, nobody wants to see the Jazz.
They're not even $20, so you could just get free tickets. I wonder if that's how it works.
It's possible, yeah. They might pay you money to go see the Jazz with this code Patriots Drive.
Get the heck out of here. So, no, make sure you guys use code Patriots Drive at SeatGeek. It's not Pat's Drive. It's full Patriots Drive on your first or on your purchase to get $20 off. So, appreciate them. But, Cole, one question I want to ask about this. If the Patriots were to make this trade, say this trade we have on screen is what they do, and the Patriots acquire the 11th overall pick, would you want to take a quarterback there? Say, hey, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, we can make it work with one of them? Or would you want to sign a veteran, more likely like a Baker Mayfield, or maybe you pair up a Kirk Cousins with Justin Jefferson?
I'm not in love with any of these quarterbacks outside of the top three. I don't love it. I think this roster has been so bare and so has lacked a lot of talent in recent years. If you can get a guy like Justin Jefferson and then go get Olufashanu at pick 11 if he's still there, or trade up a little bit if you somehow want to for Joe Alt, I think that, I don't know if that would make sense, but if you can get a tackle, one of those top two tackles at the 11th pick, you get Jefferson, you fill your biggest need, one of your biggest needs, wide receiver, you fill one of your other biggest needs, tackle, and quarterback. That would be where I'd be like, okay, we still have Jefferson for one more year. One more season on this deal. Let's bring in Kirk Cousins for a year or Baker for a year. Get a bridge
Jacoby
guy.
Brissett for a year.
Get a bridge guy and push the quarterback problem to a year or two down the road and see where you're at. Because like you said, and like we talk about all the time, there's always a quarterback who shoots up draft boards and comes out of nowhere and ends up being a top 5 pick. So we don't know who's going to be at the top of the class next year. I mean, we have our projections, but we'll see who ends up playing well next year and raising their draft stock. So maybe you do like a quarterback there, and maybe the Vikings, if they did do this trade, maybe Jaden Daniels doesn't turn out to be good for them, and they end up with a top 10 pick, and you end up with maybe 2 top 10 picks, or a 10 and a 15, something like that. And that's not bad. And you'd at least have an exciting offense to watch with Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, and a new offensive line. I mean, with this defense, I think that'd be great. I know it's kind of like we're just watching the Vikings again, but that's kind of the road I would go. I just don't have a lot of confidence in a guy like Bo Nix. Penix, we'll see what the injury history looks like, but if he's not behind a good offensive line, we'll see what that looks like. I would prefer Penix over Bo Nix, but I just feel like you can fix a lot of holes to where when you do get that quarterback, you're going to have the offensive line, the wide receiver, the weapons all set, and he's going to be ready to plug and play. And you're going to set him up a lot better than Mac. So that's what I would do if they pulled off this trade.
Well, and I probably wouldn't take Nix, McCarthy, or Penix at pick 11, but if they're there at 34, you'd still have that. You could take a chance on them. But what you just said about how there's going to be guys next year, guys, on PFF, Jaden Daniels was the 8th rated quarterback going into 2023 college football. He was below Quinn Ewers, who's going to come out next year, Jordan Travis for Florida State, Riley Leonard, who's now at Notre Dame, Penix, Nix, Drake May, and Caleb Williams. We've seen it with Zach Wilson. We've seen guys have incredible seasons and jump up into top 5 picks all the time. Like, there will be another guy next year, and you're going to have the Shadur Sanders. You're going to have Quinn Ewers, who I think will be good, but you're going to have a sneaky guy come in. I guarantee if you ask me or Cole, probably even 10 months ago about Jaden Daniels, we probably been like, oh, not in the first round. No way. What? Like, and if you guys were saying that, yeah, I would have taken a chance on him, then you guys can see the future, because up to this point at Arizona State and LSU, he hadn't shown first round talent. So he has now. So there's going to be a guy. I'm not saying that that's a reason to push off taking a quarterback, but don't worry. Like, Jaden Daniels is not the only chance the Patriots have to get a quarterback. If you can add top 5 talent like Justin Jefferson and a future first round pick, you do it, because you're going to be set for the next 5-6 years, and you just figure out the quarterback situation and punt it down the road a year later. So I agree. It's probably not worth it. Kirk Cousins or Baker Mayfield, you'd wonder, how much money they're going to want, but the Patriots have cap space and they wouldn't have to pay Jefferson until 2026. So,
Or tackle.
yeah, or a tackle, it could make sense, and it would be interesting, but I think I agree with you where Patriots fans should love this idea and should want to do it. But if I'm giving this a percentage, I say this is probably 5% or less likely to happen.
Yeah, I'd probably put it at even less. I think this is like a 1% Hail Mary type thing. If you rearrange it like you talked about earlier, and it's Jefferson and a 2025 first round for the 3rd overall pick, I think that's where the Vikings would start maybe thinking about it. But I don't think it makes sense for them to give up Jefferson when you're trying to trade up for a quarterback. I think the whole point of getting a quarterback is to keep a guy like Jefferson with you for his whole career. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's likely. I would love it as a Patriots fan, but I also love Jaden Daniels, Drake May. I like these guys, so I'm excited to hopefully get our own quarterback and start building the franchise like that. But just our 2 cents on this.
For sure. Well, guys, we appreciate it. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, turn the notification bell on, so when we go live, you guys can tune into that, or Mock Draft Mondays when those get posted. Make sure you use code Patriots Drive at SeatGeek. Get some save money on whatever event you want to go to. And then, of course, comment down below the answer to the trivia question. Again, who in 2019 did the Patriots trade a 2nd round pick for? It was a wide receiver. So that hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of a head start. But make sure you guys comment that down below. And until next time, we will talk to you later.